Are you building something better? So are we. This September, Monocle's Quality of Life conference brings together founders, creatives and changemakers for 3 days of smart conversation, big ideas and generous hospitality. From the future of cities to people-first leadership, we'll explore what it means to build with purpose and live well. Find out more and book your seat at monocle.com/conference.
You're listening to Eureka on Monocle Radio, brought to you by the team behind The Entrepreneurs, the show all about inspiring people, innovative companies, and fresh ideas in global business. I'm Tom Edwards. Per Fredriksson is the founder of premium selvage denim specialist COF Studio, also an online and retail store out of Stockholm, Sweden, that's expanded from denim into the wider apparel space. The brand is the culmination of Per's decades working with denim. And the COF, or Circle of Friends, alluded to in the business's name, well, as Per explains, it speaks to the tight-knit and committed group of suppliers from fabric mills to thread and button manufacturers who contribute to this unique concern. So, how do you build for growth and ambition while keeping things so friendly? And how does a smaller, more niche producer outmaneuver the big players in the space? Well, here is Per with more on how the journey began.
I started because I was a lot in America, and 15 years ago when a lot of American brands come up made in United States, I liked that part. And then I was scratching my head, how can I do this but to do made in Europe? So I contact some mills because I used to live in Italy for 18 years. So I contact the denim mill Canny Denim and talk with the owner, Alberto Candiani, and I present my idea. I would like to do something related only to Europe. And then he said, Per, how come you from Sweden called me? Why no Italians called me about this? And then he said, of course, I would like to do that. I like your idea. So that's how he and I was agreed. Then I had to find a proper name. And then I was talking with a friend. His daughter come up, why don't you call it Circle of Friends? And then I was like, oh, it sounds really, really good to use Circle of Friends. And then when I present it further, everyone like it. So that's how everything started. From the beginning, I had an idea to do, since I start with the denim, the wider width fabrics should be Circle of Friends because it's more price friendly. And COF Studio should be more the heritage with selvage denim and everything made in the old way of denim manufacturing. But everyone bought the selvage part of the collection. So that's why we took off with COF Studio, and then we dropped Circle of Friends as a trademark. But we use it in our products because we explain in all our jeans the Circle of Friends of this product. So we mention the fabric mill, the thread supplier, the buttons, the rivets. People can find out every supplier on our pocket lining, and then we keep it tight. So I have almost not changed any supplier since the brand start, because that was the idea, to really work, even if other people contact me now. And then I said, but you're not in the Circle of Friends, so that's why I will not pick fabric from you, for example, or accessories or whatever. So that was the start of everything. I got the opportunity when I started to work for people who had manufacturing in Sweden and Finland, actually. But they shut down one after another in the beginning of the 80s. And then I get the opportunity to work for, at that time, I think there was the second biggest company of Scandinavia in the denim field called Dobber. And they bought 100% of the fabrics in Japan. and did the manufacturing those days in Singapore and Hong Kong, where you don't produce today. But this time, because the owner of Dobber, he found Japanese denim 1974 and said, because everyone were into America in the 70s, but he started to do a brand and bought all the fabrics in Japan. And what I know, when I started, we were the only ones from Europe those days who actually bought fabric from Japan. So that became almost my school, because I spent 100 days every year over there with a technician guy, also from Sweden, to develop the fabrics and everything. So that's how I get in. And I was just 23 at that time. So I had 4 fantastic years to work with fabrics, with Japanese mills and garment making in other parts of Asia those days. And then I resigned 1981 and went to Italy instead to work. I liked Italy a lot, so I moved there, and then I spent 18 years in Italy outside Florence as my base, working all over the world, of course, still. But that's the background, I would say. But then I start 2016, you can say we had the first COF collection in the market. With COF, first of all, I want to work close in the market. So let's say we take majority, I would say 85% of our fabrics from Italy, and we do the garment making in Portugal. That means we don't need to push our retailers for too big commitments in pre-ordering, but we can do speed to market deliveries. For all the orders we get on pre-orders, I will double the quantity so you can refill in the season. So you should have your products, depends from where you come, of course. America is maybe 5 days, but here in Europe is mainly 2 to 3 days. You have replenishment. So that's the way I want to supply the market and see a gap, because the big players in our segment, they ask for so big pre-orders, they push the retailers. If you don't buy, for example, 10,000 euro, you cannot buy our brand. And a lot of retailers, they are not strong enough to say, okay, then I go to another brand. So that's why I think a lot of those retailers have financial problems today. The brands have actually pushed them to the limit what they manage. I want to do the other way around, to take a pre-order and then do the replenishment. And since I work so close with the mills, I can easily, within a week or 2, have a new order of fabrics or whatever. And then I need only 20-25 days for stitching and washing. So I can reproduce much, much quicker, of course, than the big guys. That's where I feel is the opening in the market for a small brand like us. I have one store. It's not called COF Studio though, it's Circle of Friends, based in Malmö. We have different brands, we have shoes inside. So one of our best partners is Paraboot shoes actually. But we also have we have Jackman, a Japanese brand, and some other brands together with our own. Probably we will expand the Circle of Friends if the opportunities come with the retail store in Copenhagen, for example, probably the next step. Or in Stockholm. We try in one area in Stockholm, but the location was too small, so we couldn't really come out with our collection. But the main target is independent retailers and online business. So far we have never approached department stores, because I think in every city today you can find 1 or 2 really good independent retailers. And my feeling is, I think consumers, when we talk about sustainability and all this, I think to buy a quality product where you get the service is from smaller independent stores. So I'm not keen on department store. We have never approached them and they have never approached me, because I'm not after big volumes. It's more a stable business. And then you put your overhead costs so you can stay healthy in that market. So I don't need to be a multi-billion brand. That's not the ambition at all. It's to have a good, healthy brand with my supply chain. Of course, I would love to work in Japan, and I love the Japanese fashion culture, but it hasn't been time really to try to get into the Japanese market or other Korea or China, which is also an interesting market today, China, Hong Kong. We just started a showroom in Paris, so this was the first season now in January when he presented the collection. And it takes time with today's market situation in Europe, of course, but I see online that we have a lot of consumers from France, so I think there is a potential in the French market, as the same in the Netherlands. I don't think denim in the future will be typical denim brands. It can be a casual brand to have good denim. Yeah, the consumer groups are more different than when I grew up. It's more individual today. So we have to go that direction. I mean, today the consumers dictate what we should do. Before, brands and retailers dictate what the consumer should buy. But today, I think we have to listen what the consumer market requests and create, because it's come from the street today, not from designers or companies.
That was Per Fredriksson, the founder of COF Studio, and you can learn more by heading to cofstudio.com and also check out the full offering of studio denim and many more brands by heading to circleoffriendsshop.com. And that's all for this episode of Eureka. We'll be back at the same time next week. The programme was produced by Laura Kramer with audio editing by Jack Dewars. Listen again and find out more at monocle.com, or if you'd like to get in touch with the team, email Laura on lrk@monocle.com. I'm Tom Edwards, goodbye, and thanks for listening to Eureka.